நீங்கள் பார்த்து கொண்டிருப்பது உங்கள் RSKV யூடியூப் சேனல்.
Income Tax Inspectors Exam 2016 Part 3 Allied Laws. Question number 1. Request for furnishing of information can be made in dash language: English, Hindi, official language of the area. Answer: all of the above. Question number 2. Under the Right to Information Act, the person requesting for information has to give only his personal contact details. Question 3. The Central Public Information Officer or State Public Information Officer on receipt of request to furnish information has to dispose of the application within dash time 30 days 30. Question 4. Under Right to Information Act 2005, there shall be no obligation to disclose any information: A. The disclosure of which causes a breach of privilege of Parliament or state legislature; B. Which is expressly forbidden to be published by any court of the law or tribunal; C. Which is received in confidence from foreign government. Answer: all of the above. Question 5. Where a notice is served by Central Public Information Officer under subsection 1 of section 11 to a third party in respect of any information or record, representation against the proposed disclosure can be made by third party within 10 days. Question 6. As per the provisions of section 7 of the Right to Information Act 2005, where the information sought for concern the life or liberty of the person, the same shall be provided within dash hours of the receipt of the request, 48 hours. Question 7. The prescribed fee while requesting for information under subsection 1 of 6 is rupees 10. Question 8. The information which is exempt from disclosure under the Right to Information Act 2005 is provided in Section 8 subsection A, Section 8 subsection C, Section 8 subsection I. All of the above are correct. Question number 9. The application fee for making request for furnishing of information under the Right to Information Act can be made by way of cash against or proper receipt; 2. Demand draft or bank check; 3rd. Indian postal order payable to accounts officer of the public authority. Answer: any one of the above. Question 10. Third party in section 2 of the Right to Information Act 2005 means a person other than the citizen making a request for information and includes a public authority. Question 11. All dash shall be have the right to information: all citizens. Question 12. Which of the following shall provide for the office of every registering officer books necessary for the purpose of Indian Registration Act 1908, State Government? Question 13. The documents registration of which is compulsory under the Registration Act have been dealt in Section 17 on 7. Question 14. A person gives the following assets on lease on the basis of yearly rent, asset leasing of which will require registration under the Registration Act: plot of land. Question 15. The document registration of which is optional have been dealt in Section 1818. Question 16. Which of the following documents are to be registered compulsorily? Sale agreement for a consideration in which possession of immovable property is given. Question 17. Where the sealed cover containing will can be withdrawn by the testator. Can be withdrawn by the testator or his duly authorized agent. Question 18. From which time registered sale deed will operate? From the date of execution. Question 19. Which of the following require compulsory registration under Section 17 bar 1 of Registration Act 1908? A. Any instrument of partition by a revenue officer. B. Any certificate of sale granted to the purchaser of any property sold by public auction by a civil or revenue officer. Both A and B are correct. Question 20. Which section of the Registration Act 1908 contains provision relating to saving of certain enactments or and powers of courts? 46. Question 21. Will by living person can be deposited with registrar by the following duly authorized agent. Question 22. For the purpose of Registration Act 1908, the state government makes suitable provisions for the safe custody of the records connected with the registration of documents in each district and supply the office of every registrar with fireproof box. Question 23. The rule of precedence amongst the various registered documents relating to the same property is contained in Section 42, Section 46, Section 4 and Section 16, all of the above. Question 24. The object of Section 47 is to decide which of the two, a registered instrument and an unregistered instrument, in respect of the same property is to have effect. B. To decide which of the two or more registered instruments in respect of the same property is to have effect. C. To decide which of the two, a registered document and dual agreement in respect of the same property is to have effect. Answer all of the above. Question 25. Registering officer after presentation of document for registration as per law is required. Endorse the certificate containing the word registered. Question 26. Order 19 of Civil Procedure Code 1908 deals with affidavits. Question 27. Under Order 5, Rule 1 of Civil Procedure Code 1908, the maximum time limit of filed return statement is 90 days, 90. Question 28. Any commissioner appointed under Order 26, unless otherwise directed by the order, may inter alia A. Call for and examine documents and other things relevant to the subject of the inquiry. B. At any reasonable time enter upon or into any land or building mentioned in the order. Both A and B are correct. Question 29. Power to attendance of deponent for cross-examination is laid down in Order 19, Rule 2 of Civil Procedure Code 1908. Question 30. Which of the following provisions of RTA Act 2005 casts responsibility on public authority to provide as much information suo motu to the public at regular intervals so that public have minimum resort to use the Act to obtain information. Section 4 bar 2. Question 31. Which of the following are included in the right to information under Section 2 I of RTA Act 2005? Under Section 2J of RTA Act 2005. A. Taking of certified examples of materials. B. Inspection of work, documents and records. Both A and B of above are correct. Question 32. Mr. X sought information on the book Indian Mission on Pluto. Copyright of this book subsists with Government of India and providing information would infringe copyright as CPIO. What would be your decision? You may provide information. Question 33. A co-personary shall continue to subsist until A. It comes to end on partition. B. Death of the last co-partner. C. Death of sole surviving co-partner. Answer either A or B or C. Question 34. A daughter of a co-partner governed by Metakshara law shall become a co-partner by birth in her own right in the same manner as the son and would have the same rights in the co-partnership property if she had been a son from this date. This law is in operation from 9/9/2005. Question 35. Immovable property does not include A. Standing timber, B. Growing crops, C. Grass. Answer D. All of the above. Question 36. Attested in relation to an instrument means means it to have been attested by at least two witnesses. Question 37. Section 25 of Transfer of Property Act provides conditional transfer. Question 38. Section 53A of Transfer of Property Act provides for part performance. Question 39. Which is not a type of mortgage? By absolute sale. Question 40. The Section 41 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 is the statutory application of the law of estoppel. The statement is true. Estoppel, ESTOPPEL. Section 41. Section 52 of Transfer of Property Act 1882 imposes a prohibition on transfer or otherwise dealing of any property during the pendency of a suit, provided the conditions laid down in section are satisfied. This is known as lis pendens. LISPENDENS. Question 42. If the donee dies before the acceptance of the gift is void. Question 43. The provision of Part 6 as set out is Schedule 3 to Indian Succession Act 1925 do not apply to wills and codicils made by any Muslim on or after the first day of January 1927. Question 44. Which of the following is a valid will? Will obtained with complete knowledge, understanding and free volition of the writer. Question 45. For acquiring domicile in India, a person has to be a resident in India for 1 year. Question 46. According to the provisions of Indian Succession Act 1925, an Indian Christian means a Christian who is a native of India or who claims to be of unmixed Asiatic descent. Question 47. An unprivileged will or codicil is revoked by A. Marriage, B. Another will or codicil, C. A declaration to revoke the earlier will. Answer D. All of the above. Question 48. A will stands revoked when A. It is destroyed by the person making the will, B. The person making the will gets married, C. Another will is made revoking the earlier one. Answer in all the above circumstances. Question 49. The Indian Succession Act came into force in 1925. Question 50. As per Section 2E of the Indian Succession Act, minor means any person subject to the dash who has not attained the majority within the meaning of that act, and any other person who has not completed the age of 18 years. Fill up the blank picking up the correct option. Answer Indian Majority Act 1875. Question 51. The word administrator in Section 2A, Indian Succession Act 1925, means a person appointed by competent authority to administer the estate of a deceased person when there is no dash executor. Question 52. Part 2 of the Indian Succession Act shall not apply if the deceased was a Hindu, 2 Mohammedan, 3 Buddhist, 4 Sikhs or Jain. Answer all of the above. Question 53. Under the Indian Succession Act 1925, Property shall go to government where the intestate has left no A. widow, B. no lineal descendant, or those who are kindred to him. Answer both A and B above. Question 54. According to the provisions of Indian Succession Act 1925, intermeddling with the goods of the deceased for the purpose of preserving them or providing for his funeral or for the immediate necessities of his family or property does not make an executor guilty of any wrong. Answer true. Question 55. X, Y, and Z are co-owners of a property which is mortgaged. Now, Z transfers his share to A. Which of the following is correct? 1. A can claim partition of his share. 2. A can claim separate possession of his share. Both are correct. Question 56. Rules under Chapter 2 of Indian Succession Act in case of intestate do not apply to parsis. 57. The domicile of a minor as per Section 14 of the Indian Succession Act 1925 follows the domicile of the parent from whom he derived his domicile of origin. True. Question 58. A gift of future property is void. Question 59. Under the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the transfer of property may be made by delivery of property except where transfer is required to be in writing under the law. Question 60. A immovable property has several co-owners. They transfer a share therein without specifying that the transfer is to take effect on any particular share of the transferors. In case the shares are unequal, the transfer shall take effect proportionately to the extent of such shares. 61. How many different types of mortgages are defined in the Section 58 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882? 6. Question 62. The rights and liabilities of the lessors and lessee are described in which section of Transfer of Property Act 1882? Section 108. As per Section 108 of Transfer of Property Act 1882, if a property is materially rendered unfit by any natural calamity, the lease may become void at the option of the lessee. Question 64. Can the salary of a public officer be transferred? No, it cannot be transferred. Question 65. The decree as regards the court means formal expression of an adjudication. Question 66. The property which is not liable for attachment and sale in the case of decree of maintenance of a person is 1/3 of salary or of concerned person. Question 67. The person executing any process under the Civil Procedure Code 1908 directing or authorizing the seizure of movable property must not enter the dwelling house. A. Before the sunset. B. After the sunset. C. Both of the above. Answer D. None of the above. Question 68. Under Civil Procedure Code 1908, if the judgment of a court on question of law has been reversed or modified by the subsequent decision of Superior Court, then this cannot be a valid ground for review of the judgment. Question 69. As per Order 16 of Civil Procedure Code 1908, the time for serving someone is reasonable time. Question 70. Where there are more than 10 defendants, the service summons under Civil Procedure Code 1908 shall be made to each defendant separately. Question 71. Under the Civil Procedure Code 1908, the power of court to issue commission is covered under Section 75. Under the Civil Procedure Code 1908, a person is in whose favor a decree is passed or an order capable of execution has been made is known as decree holder. Question 73. Section 60 of the Civil Procedure Code 1908 deals with property liable to attachments and sale in execution of decree. Question 74. Under the Civil Procedure Code 1908, where the application for review is heard by more than one judge and the court is equally divided, the application stands rejected. Question 75. As per order 26 Rule 18 of the Civil Procedure Code 1908, where all or any of the parties do not appear before the Commission may proceed in their absence. Question 76. Co-personary is limited to how many decrees from common ancestor? Can be more than 4. Question 77. After the Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, who have become co-partners in their own right? Daughters of co-partners. Question 78. Which school does not recognize the principle of survivorship (unobstructed heritage) Answer Daya Bhaga. Question 79. In Hindu law, a father-in-law is bound to provide maintenance to his widowed daughter-in-law. She is unable to get maintenance from her father. Question 80. One becomes a member of Hindu co-partnership by birth. Question 81. A Hindu governed by Mitakshara law wants to dispose by gift his undivided interest in co-partnership property. A. He can do so according to Mitakshara law applicable in Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. B. He can do so according to Mitakshara law applicable in Bombay and Madras states. C. He can do so in any part of India. Answer D. None of the above. Question 82. A karta can be a minor. Question 83. The manager as head of the family is not under obligation to economize or save as a paid trustee. Question 84. Which of these is a family purpose for which a manager can incur expenses? A. Maintenance. B. Education. C. Marriage. D. Answer all of the above. Question 85. Which is correct? A manager has power to refer to arbitration disputes relating to joint family. This is the correct statement. Then question 86. Which of the following decrees against a manager of joint family as representing the family operates as res judicata? A. For debt contracted by manager for family necessities. B. In respect of family properties. C. For the family business. Answer D. All of the above. Question 87. Who may alienate co-partnership property? 1. The manager as per section 240. 2. The father as per section 254. 3. A sole surviving co-partner as per section 255. Answer all of the above. Question 88. An author of the trust is a person who reposes or declares the confidence. Question 89. As per section 3 of the Indian Trust Act 1882, a trust is defined as an obligation annexed to the ownership of property and arising out of a confidence reposed in and accepted by the owner or declared and accepted by him for the benefit of another and the owner. Question 90. Breach of trust is defined in which of the following sections of the Indian Trust Act 1882? 3. Question 91. As per section 4 of the Indian Trust Act 1882, the purpose of trust is unlawful if it is A. Forbidden by law. B. Is of such a nature that if permitted it would defeat the provisions of any law. C. Is fraudulent. Answer D. All of the above. Question 92. Beneficial interest in a trust is a right against the trustee vested in beneficiary of the trust. Question 93. Where a trust is created for two purposes, of which one is lawful and the other unlawful, and the two purposes cannot be separated, the whole trust is not void. Question 94. The instrument of trust directs the trustee to invest trust money either in any of such securities or on mortgage of immovable property The trustee does neither. He is liable for the principal, money, and interest. Answer D. 23. The above illustration derives its justification from which section of the Indian Trust Act 1882? Answer 23, section 23. Question 95. A trustee committing a breach of trust is liable to pay interest in the following cases. A. Where he has actually received interest. B. Where the breach consists in unreasonable delay in paying trust money to the beneficiary. C. Where the trustee ought to have received interest but has not done so. Answer D. All of the above. Question 96. The beneficiary, if competent to contract, may transfer his interest but subject to the law for the time being in force as to the circumstances and extent in and to which he may dispose of such interest. This general principle is enshrined in which section of the Indian Trust Act 1882? Section 58. Question 97. Which of the following is true regarding a trust created by will? It can be revoked at the pleasure of the testator. Question 98. An executor, buys at an undervalue from B, a legatee, his claim under the will. B is ignorant of the value of the bequest. A must hold for the benefit of B the difference between the price and value. The above illustration is derived from basic principle enshrined in which section of the Indian Trust Act 1882? Section 88. Question 99. The Indian Trust Act 1882 lists various securities where trustee is bound to invest trust money in case trust property consists of money and cannot be applied at an early date for the purpose of the trust. The same is contained in which section of Indian Trust Act 1882? Section 20. 100. Question number. For the purpose of Indian Trust Act 1882, registered means registered under the law for the registration of documents for the time being in force.